Matthias, as an SRE, I have information overload. Information is coming from everywhere, right? It's coming from dev, it's coming from ops, and people have their opinions and their beliefs of what's good, what's bad, what works, what doesn't work. But at the end of the day, I have to use judgment because I'm not a supercomputer, right? I can't process all of that information. Can you give me an example of how AI can help me there, make better informed and more rational decisions?
Yes, that's a great question, Torsten. And as an SRE, I'm a developer by heart, and I don't want to spend my time in front of dashboards trying to figure out what happened. Right? I'd like to spend my time on coding, solving problems for good by spending my time on code. And in order to allow me to do so, we leverage AI to extract insights from, unstructured data or places that are typically really hard and difficult to understand and required humans in the past, and then correlate this with other data points to better inform the SRE what requires attention and equip the SRE with information that is actionable and allows the person to focus on code, on fixing the problem for good.
And Mike, that challenge is similar when you look at it from the DevSecOps side, where I have tons and tons of metrics, but I have really no central point usually where they all come together and where I can actually learn something from those metrics, right? Even down to how does a certain developer habit influence tickets in ServiceNow, right? So there's all kinds of things I could learn.
Yeah, there's a lot of kind of separating out those the signals from the noise, let's say.
Right.
And one of the big shifts we even see, as you were saying, from DevSec ops, is moving from operations where you may not have a knowledge of the application itself, and a lot of the events that we may have been thrown, in years past, were infrastructure events that were trying to make assumptions about the application, right? Things like high CPU would be an alert, or high network traffic would be an alert. And that's just because we've seen problems in those cases before, and we were trying to say that's an application problem. So cleaning those things out of our system is kind of the first step.
Mhm.
And then taking more of an application approach to what we even alert on and event on is, that move from an operations person into an app-centric SRE type role, because a lot of operations folks are going to have to take on these SRE hats, and that's kind of some of the first things to do is to shed that. And then, like you said, if they move into more and more development, we can look at some of those metrics to see which developers are improving the quality of the code, right? And we can do that with taking analysis of the golden signals of the application versus some app developers who, whenever they check in code, tend to slow down those signals, right? Learn from that, and that AIOps will help us to identify where those places are.
And Matthias, it also helps us get rid of this lousy finger pointing that Mike was just referring to, where the developer says, no, that latency in the storage is not my code. There must have been something else going on that server. And that's what I'm wasting 50-60% of my time when I'm trying to troubleshoot something, right? And AI is tremendously helping out there.
Exactly. I mean, look, using the AI to get a holistic view and an application-centric perspective on what's going on in your service, right, end to end, is really how we see where we see the opportunity. And we also see the opportunity in the ability to bring the information to the SRE, oriented towards the SRE. So not normalized by events versus logs, but succinct, supporting a view on an incident that the SRE has to deal with. Right. And I think then, thirdly, to build bridges between the operations world and the dev world by leveraging insights that as they occur on both sides of the fence, respectively, right? I think that's the opportunity for the AI, and in this process, get rid of some of the toil that the engineer has otherwise to deal with, like keeping data or information consistent between a Jira ticket and a ServiceNow ticket, where you document an incident and a resolution plan, right? All of this could be taken care of with the means of AI and automation technology.
There is so much going on in the enterprise that leaves footprints in the data, in the service desk, in Jira, and in all kinds of systems. And what you are basically doing is evaluating in real time what's relevant to my SRE in his or her current situation, and delivering that relevant information to him or her. Thank you very much, Matthias. Thank you, Mike.